Hello, I'm Jo Howarth. I run the Happiness Club and I'm doing a live on the Mindful Living Show page. I really hope I'm in the right place. I'm not the most technologically minded person, shall we say. So hopefully I'm in the right place and hopefully lots of you are going to join me. I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes or so chatting on here. So if you want to come and chat with me, have a chat, comment, ask me questions, leave me comments, give me lots of likes and hearts and emojis and things like that. I gather that's what you do in these kinds of things. I'm trying to sound like a grown-up. Let me have any questions. I've got a few to get started with, and if you're watching this on replay, then maybe put a hashtag replay so I know you're watching it on replay, and then I can come back through at a later date and answer any comments or answer any questions on there. If you watch it on replay and you have any questions, just shout, just message me on Facebook or something like that. That's fine, absolutely fine. I'm always happy to chat to anybody about mindfulness and happiness and all things joyful. So welcome to Sunday evening. It's 7 o'clock, I believe. And my house is quiet and peaceful, which is always a source of happiness for me. My children are at their grandparents' house. So I hope you've had a lovely Sunday. So also, just to say, I'm one of the speakers at the Mindful Living Show, which is happening in London. Happening in London on the 1st and 2nd of June. I'm speaking on Saturday afternoon at 3:20, Saturday the 2nd of June at 3:20. It's at the Business Design Centre in Islington, London, and I am sponsoring the Happiness Cafe. So if you come to the Mindful Living Show on the 1st and 2nd of June, you will meet me at the Happiness Cafe. Come and have a happy cup of tea, and there will be some activities for you to do in the Happiness Cafe, and I'm there to chat to as well. All-inclusive day passes for the show start from £25 and are available at www.mindfullivingshow.com. It's ace. I went to the Manchester version in February. Hi, Laura. And it was brilliant. So I'm really, really looking forward to being more involved in the London show. So let's get cracking. Questions. I've been sent a few questions in advance, so I'm going to start working through those and start answering those first. But I'm going to prioritise any questions that you guys have that are watching me live. So if you put a question in, I will keep checking. So do write questions in. So the first question that I was sent in advance was, is our happiness really in our control? And this is an interesting one for me, because I 100% believe that it is. Absolutely. No shadow of a doubt, our happiness is always in our control. I think that a lot of people go through life not really realising that, not being aware of that, not being aware that they have the power and the ability within themselves to control what happens to them, to control. I'm sorry, the sun, beautiful, glorious sun shining in my patio windows at me. But we all have the power and the ability to control our own happiness, to create our own lives in exactly the way we want to create them. And I find it actually a little bit heartbreaking that a lot of people don't realise that. A lot of people are completely unaware. A lot of people go through life believing that life comes at them, that stuff gets thrown at them, and they kind of have to find the way clear, find their way through it. And actually, the more you assert your own control, the more you assert your own decisions, and the more you control what's happening to you, the less that happens, the less life throws things at you. And now when I say, now we have to be on a fine line here, because when I say the more you control the things that happen to you, I am not advocating in any way, shape or form becoming a control freak. And this is where the interesting part of the conversation happens for me, because I believe that the more you let go of control, the more you let go of that need to control, the more you let go of that urge to control everything that's going on around you, the more in control you actually are. And that's one of those very strange, slightly contradictory sentences that is quite hard to explain, but in my experience is absolutely true. I used to be a massive, and I mean massive, control freak, okay? We're bordering on OCD here, but I was massive control freak. I used to be a corporate event manager before I started doing all the happiness stuff. And really, to do that job, you have to be a massive control freak. It's part of the job description, because every detail has to be right. And I was the most miserable. Everything in my life was controlled to the nth degree. Every bit of my work, every part of my life, I controlled it all brilliantly. And I was the most miserable I've ever been in my entire life. And it was as I came across different practices, mindfulness being one of them, and I learned how to let go of that control, let go of that need to control what was happening to me, that I actually found I was more in charge of how I was feeling. I was more in charge of how I was responding to things. I was more in charge of how I felt about things. And I think that's the key. I think happiness is absolutely in our control, because it's all in how we respond to something. If you think about, I mean, again, I used to be Mrs. Road Rage. You didn't want to see me in a traffic jam, or if someone cut me up on the motorway, I would, I wasn't backwards in coming forwards, shall we say, with my words and my anger and my flashing lights and beeping horns and all manner of things. And I realised one day that it was a total waste of my energy. That reacting like that was a complete and utter waste of my energy. The only person I was hurting was me, and nobody in the cars around me really probably even noticed or really gave two monkeys about what I was doing in my car. And I was getting very upset and very wound up and very in here. And then I had this realisation one day that actually it made no difference whatsoever reacting like that. It made no difference to the situation, to the traffic jam or the person that had just cut me up or whatever the situation was. It made absolutely no difference. And that I had a choice in that moment. I had a choice. I could be the angry, rah, how dare you, rah, rah, rah person. Or I could just accept that there was absolutely nothing I could do about the traffic jam and find something to put a smile on my face instead, which might be listening to some music, or might just be having a lovely little conversation with myself in my head, which I do quite a lot, or looking at the scenery, but that was my choice. That was absolutely my choice. So was that within my control? Yes, absolutely, totally, 100% within my control. For me, happiness is absolutely a choice. It's more than a choice, it's a decision. It's a decision I make every single morning. I decide that I'm going to be happy today, and I'm going to do everything I can during the day to be as happy as I possibly can be. And that includes making choices like that. Do you believe in fate? Oh, let me have a slurp of water. That's a good one. Do you know? Oh, Laura, you've tested my brain now. Do I believe in fate? I kind of do, and I kind of don't. I know that's a really annoying answer, sorry. I believe that we attract people and situations into our lives that match where we are vibrationally. We are beings of energy. We're made of energy, and we vibrate. That energy vibrates. All energy vibrates, and it vibrates at certain levels, and we attract people and situations into our lives that match those vibrations. Okay, that's what happens. So in so much as we do that, no, I don't believe in fate, because we can change our vibrations. We can change the way we think. We can change all these lovely neural pathways in here if we choose to. And so if that much change is available to us, and if it's that much change is available within our own control, then I don't believe there can be one fated pathway for somebody, because you always have the power and the ability to change where you're going. I don't even know if that vaguely answers your question, but I hope it does. So the next question on my on the list that I got sent in advance is, what is happiness to me personally? And I'm really glad that I've been asked this, actually, because I do think, and I did a couple of Facebook posts about this recently. I don't know if you follow me on Facebook, but if you do, I did a couple of Facebook posts on this recently, which, because I do think, because my company's called the Happiness Club, and a lot of people know me as Jo Happiness Howarth, and happiness is quite literally my middle name, and a lot of people call me the Happy Lady or the Happiness Queen, that kind of thing. So I think there is a contingent of people that believe I just walk around like this all the time, and that I just smile at everything, and that it's fine, and and I'm really trying really hard to be happy all the time. And that's not what happiness is. Okay. Happiness for me is being comfortable in my own skin. Happiness for me is knowing that I do the best I can every single day, as do you, whoever you are, whether I know you or not. You absolutely are doing the best you can every day with what you've got, given wherever you've come from, whatever you've been through, whatever you've experienced, whatever you're doing. You absolutely 100% are doing the best you can every day. No shadow of a doubt, you are. And I know that I do that every day. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm blissfully happy all the time. I have grumpy days. Today, for instance, I've been quite tired because I've had a very busy last 2 or 3 days. And Sunday, I've gone bleh. And I'm very tired today. So I may have been a little grumpy with my children this afternoon. I apologise. I let those feelings go. I make a note to do better next time. But I've done the best I can with where I am today. So happiness for me is about being absolutely comfortable with who I am, knowing that I'm doing my best every day, and that even on those days where I don't feel great, that at the base of it, my foundation is a sort of contentment and inner peace. Like I say, comfy in my own skin. It's not about walking around with a big silly grin on my face the whole time. It's about being comfortable with being me, and knowing that I genuinely do work on myself every day to improve the quality of my life. That's why, not to be better than anybody else, but to improve the quality of my own life. And I think that's an incredibly important thing to do. So another question on my list is, does mindfulness make you happier? Yes, 100%. Yes, absolutely. Oh, I just kicked something, sorry. Yes, mindfulness does make me happier, personally. Mindfulness, when I came across mindfulness, when I trained in mindfulness, I genuinely felt like someone had found a second pair of eyelids and pulled them open. And I went, oh, I get it now. All right, okay, this is what it's all about, righty-ho. Okay, that makes sense. It was the most mind-blowing, revelationary experience for me. And at the point that I found mindfulness, I had already been practicing hypnotherapy. I'd already had hypnotherapy sessions on and off for years. I was already, in my opinion, a very self-aware, very together, quite sorted person. I didn't think I had any major issues that needed to be dealt with, I dealt with them all. I was working on them all. I studied mindfulness out of pure curiosity more than anything, because I wanted to. Everyone was talking about it, and it was like this buzzword going round, and I'd asked a few people what it was, and when they explained it to me, I was so confused, because I was like, oh, that sounds really simple. Like, that sounds so simple that I can't for a second see how that makes any impact on anyone's life at all. So I studied it out of utter curiosity to see how something so simple could have such this enormous impact that everyone was talking about. Personally for myself, but also professionally, because I had just started my company at that point. And it blew my head off. It blew my head off. And like I say, I felt like I'd found this second pair of eyelids and someone had pulled them open and gone, no, see? You see how you've been looking at everything? No, you need to look at it like this. It was just another level. It was beautiful. So yes, and for me, mindfulness, does mindfulness make me happier every single day? Because for me, mindfulness is a progressive, cumulative practice. The more you practice it, the more beautiful and the more brilliant it becomes. It grows and grows and grows. And every day that I practice mindfulness, I feel, as I said about being comfortable in my own skin, I feel more comfortable in my own skin. I feel like I release more stuff that I don't need to hold on to. I just feel like I grow every day simply by practicing mindfulness every day. It is just the most powerful, brilliant thing. Next question. What happens in the Happiness Club? Well, a couple of my members are watching this live now. So what happens in the Happiness Club, guys? The Happiness Club is an online monthly membership club. So it's not physical meetings. We don't meet up in person. It's all online. And I send my members a message every day, every single morning. Come rain, come shine, come Christmas, come holidays, come whenever. Every single morning I send my members a message with something. It might be a straightforward mindfulness technique. It might be a tool or a strategy. It might be a story about my life that's given me some kind of learning or some kind of... bless you, Kirsty, thank you. It's the Happiness Fan Club, hooray! It's something every day for them, for my members just to get that effect that I just described mindfulness had on me, to kind of try and share that effect, to get them to just see life in a different way, see it for the brilliant, amazing, beautiful, wonderful thing that it is, instead of getting bogged down in the everyday grind, which we tend to do as human beings, don't we? Bless us. And that's the point of the club, is to help people stay there every day. And as I said before, mindfulness for me is a progressive, cumulative practice. I practice it every day, so I encourage the members of my club to practice happiness every day. The club isn't pure mindfulness. It's about 80% mindfulness based, I would say. But for me, personal development, self-development, mindset work, mindfulness, whatever you want to call it, is a daily job. It's a daily thing. And so that's what the club is. And then I run a monthly webinar for my members, a live webinar every month. And again, that's on something that the members have said they want to work on. So we've done confidence, we've done motivation, we've done self-esteem, we've done mindfulness, an explanation of what it is, the theory behind it and everything. So it's a mix. The webinar is a mix of what the members ask me to look at for them. And the benefits of the club really are to get you thinking in a different way. to get you releasing that stuff that you don't need to hold on to, because really, honestly, you don't need to hold on to it. The stuff that's in here is past. It's done. It's gone. It's happened. It's not now. We're picking it up from the past and bringing it into our now, and it doesn't need to be in the now. It doesn't need to be here. It was there, and there was a gorgeous... I'm really conscious of the sun, sorry. There was a gorgeous thing ages ago I saw written by someone who talked about going for a walk in the woods. And she said, imagine going for a walk in the woods, down a path, and as you go, you trip over a rock. So when you trip over the rock, you stop and you pick the rock up and put it in your backpack. And then as you walk, carry on walking, you get scratched by a tree, like the branch of a tree scratches you. So you break off the branch and put it in your backpack. And then you bang your head on the branch of another tree, so you break off that branch and put it in your backpack. And then you trip over some grass, so you pull the grass up and put that in your backpack. And she said, you wouldn't do that, would you? You don't do that. You trip over something on the path, you don't pick it up and carry it with you. If something scratches you when you walk past, you don't break it off and carry it with you. Imagine doing that with everything that you've physically got hurt by, and having to carry that in a backpack round for the whole of your life. And how heavy would that backpack be? Oh my Lord, how heavy would that backpack be after like 10 minutes, let alone a year or 5 years or 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. But that's what we do with our mental stuff. We pick it up and we carry it with us. And it doesn't belong here now. It doesn't belong in our backpacks now. We fell over it 5 years ago. So leave it back where it was 5 years ago. And I know that's so much easier to say than do, because I've done it. I know it's easier to say it than to do it. But that's absolutely what mindfulness helps us do, in my opinion, is to put those things down. Take them out of your backpack and put them down on the path and leave them there, because that's where they belong, not in your backpack. I really hope that makes sense. Question on here. Sorry, I'm just wibbling my camera. Wish I'd closed my curtains now, but I didn't want to shut the sun out. Is happiness overrated? Aren't all of the emotions equally valuable? Okay, that's two completely different questions. Is happiness overrated? No. I don't know what else to say to that. No, it's not overrated. Never ever overrate happiness. It's beautiful, brilliant stuff. Aren't all of the emotions equally valuable? Yes. Yes, that all emotions are valuable. All emotions are there to teach us something. The negative ones are there to teach you something. And again, I think this is part of what mindfulness taught me. I know this is what part of mindfulness taught me, is that I think we spend our lives trying to run away from the negative ones and go like this, and I can't see you. I can't see you, I can't see you, you're not there, I can't see you, la 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 la. If I sing really loud, then I can't see you. But all that does to the emotion is make it put its hand up even harder and go, no, see, I'm here. Can you not see me? I'm here. And that's what mindfulness teaches us to do. When you turn towards it, you turn towards that emotion, you acknowledge it, accept it, go through it, come out the other side. It doesn't need your attention anymore. So it dissipates. It doesn't need to shout at you quite so loudly, because all it really wants is your attention. Because what it's trying to do is tell you something, is guide you, is show you something, trying to show you what you don't want so you know what you do want. That's what the negative emotions are doing. So yeah, they're all equally valuable, definitely. Now there was a question here, and I don't know, what would be your one top tip for us to take away for the week ahead? Man, honestly, my one top tip is the same as it always is. Appreciate. Appreciate, 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 appreciate. Appreciate absolutely every last little thing. So at the moment, I can hardly see my face on the screen because the sun is shining in my window so beautifully, and quite frankly, I don't know if any of you can see me, but how beautiful is that sun, and how unbelievably lucky am I to be able to sit at my desk and have the sun shine in on my face and just look out in my garden and see how gorgeous it is because the sun is shining. And again, that's what I mean about the choice. I could sit here and get annoyed that I didn't close the curtains, or beat myself up that I've done this live and there's sunshine across my face. But why would I do that? It's a waste of my energy. Doesn't matter. Nobody is going to, nothing bad is going to happen because sunshine's shining on my face like this. So my top tip is appreciate. The more you practice appreciation, and there are a million different ways you can do it. Say thank you for everything you can think of in the morning. Say thank you for everything you can think of in the evening. Say thank you for everything that happens to you, good and bad. Say thank you for the learning that the bad stuff gives you. Say thank you for the joy that the good stuff brings you. Say thank you for everything. Just honestly, if you don't already practice appreciation, start practicing it this week. That's my top tip. Start practicing it this week and just notice how different you feel by the end of the week. And it really is that simple to say thank you. Get up in the morning, and as soon as you can after you've got up, say thank you. Thank you for everything you can think of. If you can't think of anything to say thank you for specifically, just say the words. Just say the words thank you. Say them out loud and say them with as much feeling as you can possibly muster. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have got a buzz going through my body right now because I'm just saying the words thank you. It is the most beautiful thing to do. So that's my absolute top tip. If you don't already appreciate, do some form of appreciation exercises. Do them, but do them consistently. Do them every day. I do them every morning and every evening. Do them every day. I think appreciation is probably one of the biggest things that caused that eyelid opening for me when I came across mindfulness. It is about reminding yourself on a daily basis of all the amazing, brilliant stuff that is out there, and allowing yourself to see that rather than getting bogged down. And the more you practice it, the more you just naturally start to see the brilliant stuff, the brilliant, normal, everyday, mundane stuff that is all around us that really none of us pay any attention to. Would you say practice is the main key? Totally. I have a little catchphrase of consistent and constant. It's all about, for me, the practice of happiness is all about being consistent and constant. The more you do it, the more you do it. The more you practice it, the more you notice stuff, the more you... Like I say, it's about reminding yourself on a daily basis. If you say to someone who doesn't practice appreciation on a regular basis, if you say to someone, if you've got good things in your life, they'll go, yeah. I've got a wife or a husband, and I've got children, and I've got a nice house, and blah, blah. And you can see the change in their face as they're talking about the stuff. You can see them going, oh, yeah, actually, do you know what? I've got really nice stuff in my life, which they kind of already know. You kind of already know this stuff, but you get so used to it. You get so used to it that it just becomes normal, everyday, ordinary. And it's not until you stop and pay attention to it that you realise how gorgeous the ordinary stuff is. And how, it's like when you get something new, you're totally really excited about it, aren't you? You get really, really excited and you can't wait to use it and do it and play with it and wear it and whatever. And after you've worn it for the 10th time, it's just that dress that you have. Sorry, that's my dress. But remind yourself how much you love that dress when you bought it, how much you love it. It's gorgeous, it's my favourite dress, it's brilliant. I love wearing this dress. It's the difference, that's the difference. Remind yourself, and yes, absolutely, practice is the key to that. I think that's me. Thank you so much to the people that joined me live this evening. I hope that that's been useful. I've answered most of the questions that were sent to me. If anyone has any other questions at any point, please put them in the thread or message me on Facebook, that's fine. Or get in touch with me. I have a million different ways you can get in touch with me. Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn, and just, I'm so accessible. And remember, please, the Mindful Living Show on the 1st and 2nd of June at the Business Design Centre in Islington, in that there London. Come and have a cup of tea with me in the Happiness Cafe, and then come and listen to me talk on Saturday the 2nd of June at 3:20 p.m. You can get your tickets at mindfullivingshow.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and take care. Bye.